If you're a beginner and you want to learn the slow-mo muscle up on the bar, then keep watching, because in this video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. What's up guys, it's Godrosi from Gymnastics Method, and today we're going to talk about the slow-mo bar muscle up. This is a dream of many people, especially beginners, when they see calisthenics athletes or gymnasts controlling their bodies, doing this slow motion exercise. Everybody is impressed, and probably you ask yourself how it's even possible. Well, it's not impossible, you just need to put the pieces together. Think about this exercise as a puzzle. You need to strengthen and mobilize each body part in order to be able to do it. We'll go through the same thought process that I usually do. We start from joint preparation, then we go to the basics, and after that you build the foundations and you'll be ready to take the next step and learn the technique. So, first, let's start with joint preparation. The most important key for the slow-mo bar muscle up is the wrist flexion and strength. So you will need this wrist flexion mobility, as you can see, like many people can just do in this range, but I mobilize my wrists so it's like a hook. Imagine that the bar comes here, so you have to grab the bar like this, and it's gonna require mobility and also strength of the forearm flexors. I made a separate video about wrist mobility and stability, so what you need here is the back of the hand wrist mobilizations and the palm pulses and finger pulses. These exercises will strengthen the flexor muscles of the forearm on a basic level. So once you have that, your wrists are going to be ready to learn the false grip. And I also made a separate video about the false grip. It's focusing more on the ring muscle up, but now I will walk you through the steps for the bar muscle up. So first and foremost, wrist mobility and strength. Meanwhile, you're working on the wrist, you have to work on the rest of the joints as well. It's worth to prepare the elbows, the scapula area, the shoulders and the core, for which I always recommend to do a comprehensive joint preparation program. In my 6-week program, you'll be able to strengthen and mobilize all these areas, and you will have no issues at all. So once you have all these preparations, you can jump right into the basics, and after that the technique. So it's a pretty complex topic. Again, I highly encourage you to check out my earlier videos or the program on the link below. And now let's talk about the basic side. So once you have all these preparations, and most importantly the wrist preparation, you really need to work on the pulling strength, because if you can't pull yourself high enough, you won't be able to do the transition. I always encourage everyone to do chest to bar pull-ups, because I know that in the calisthenics world and street workout, everybody is considering the proper rep as the chin over the bar. But if you want to do all the more advanced stuff like this one, you have to do at least chest to bar, and thanks to the false grip, it's likely that you'll be able to do below the chest pull-up, which will allow you to do the transition as well. So in terms of pulling strength and basic strength, after the preparations, first you need the inverted rows, because that's going to allow you to do full range of motion nice pull-ups. It's going to strengthen your back the best way. And once you have that, you can do 3 times 15 reps. You can move on to the pull-ups and build up the pull-ups to chest to bar. This is another topic as well. I made separate videos, plenty of videos on chest to bar pull-ups. So if you haven't watched those already, check them out after this one. So as I promised, first I walk you through the most important progressions for the false grip on the bar, and after that we'll jump into the right technique. So first of all, you really need the false grip, because if you don't have a false grip, you won't be able to do the transition. You will get stuck here. You just do a pull-up, and from here, it's not impossible. If the bar is slippery enough, you can do it, but it's much easier if you have a false grip. As I said, I have a full video about the full false grip, but it's focusing more on the ring muscle up. So it's kind of different, because you know the rings have a different technique, and it's much easier to learn that way. So actually you can start there and learn the ring muscle up. But I know that most people go to the park, they only have bars, so they want to learn the bar slow-mo muscle up. So right now I'm going to show you the differences and how to build it up. To get into a false grip and maintain the false grip is much easier thanks to the ring. And on the bar, since it's straight and you can't rotate it and can't change the movement, it's a little bit harder, but the steps are the same. So as I showed you before, you need this wrist flexibility, and you will feel a bone here below your pinky, and that's the point where you have to basically hook yourself to the bar. So as you see, I just put my forearms there, and here you need the mobility, and also you have to grab the bar with your thumbs as well. So many people do it this way, but it's kind of risky because once you get there you can just slip out, but once you have the thumb there you can hold the supported position much more stable. So I always suggest to do it with the thumbs, and you won't grab the bar like this, you know, like super strict, and you know, it's not gonna be like perpendicular, but more like in a 45-degree angle. So you just have to fold the hands around the bar and use your thumbs as well. That's gonna be the false grip. So when you come in the pull-up, as I said, that's gonna shorten the leverage, because if you do a chest to bar with a normal grip, you will do it this way, but here you have this cheat code, this extra advantage where you can pull yourself actually higher, and from here you will be able to do the transition. Okay, so that's how the false grip looks like, and now I'll show you how to build it up. The first progression is when you only use one hand for the false grip, and the other will just assist in a normal grip. So you have to use the same technique as before. Use this bone, maintain this 45-degree angle, and fold around the fingers and the thumb with only one hand first, and with the other one you can just grab the bar this way or in an underhand grip and try to hold the false grip like that. Once you can do 10 to 15 seconds, that's proper. So you can do it with the other one as well. Just grab the bar normally, here false grip, and try to hold it at least for 10-15 seconds. Once you have that, I mean, it's uncomfortable. Once you have that and you still have skin, you can move on and do the second one, which is gonna be false grip with both hands. So hopefully you got strong enough with both hands and you can get to the false grip here and just hold the upper end point. Use chalk obviously, because if the bar is slippery you're gonna slip out very easily. It's not your fault if the bar is slippery like that. It's gonna be really hard to maintain the false grip. That's why I also use some chalk. The goal here is also 10 to 15 seconds. Once you have that, the next step is to do inverted rows. So the third progression is do inverted rows, and that's gonna include the straight arm position already. So it's gonna be like a semi-hanging position, so you're still supporting on your feet, but you want to grab the bar with false grip and do inverted rows this way. That's why I told you that the rings are good progression, because you can just go through the full inverted row progressions, like 75 degrees, 45 degrees. You can do it on the floor, you can do it with elevated legs. If you have a lower bar, obviously it's going to be more limited, but still you can perform inverted rows. And here, when it comes together, the pulling strength and the false grip. So once people achieved a good inverted row level or a pull-up level, I always tell them that after that they can just start doing it with false grip, because that's going to be an advantage anyways. So here we will connect the false grip and the pulling strength. If you can do the same reps, 10 to 15 reps with the inverted rows, then you can try to hang. That's going to be the fourth progression, hanging on a bar in false grip. You can start with leg assistance. So if we stay here, the lower bar, just do it with leg assistance. It's gonna be way harder, and you will really need that flexibility in the elbows and also in the wrist, because if you just did it with bent elbows, it's gonna be way harder. So that's why joint preparation and those mobilization exercises are important. So the goal is to do at least 5 pull-ups with the false grip, and I can already feel that I can pull higher thanks to the shortened leverage. so you can really pull the bar high enough, and that's the final progression of the false grip. So just to summarize again, as I told you, this is a puzzle. We need the pieces. So first, start with a comprehensive joint preparation program where you go through all the joints, wrists, elbows, scapulas, shoulders, core, with basic exercises. So you need a base level in that. After that, you have to build up the basic pulling strength for this skill. So inverted rows and pull-ups. And once you have all these, you just have to connect the false grip with the pulling strength. So do inverted rows with false grip and do pull-ups with false grip. After that, basically you have like a 90% chance to do the slow-mo bar muscle up. But first, I will show you 3 progressions that will help you to get there for sure. But before the progressions, let's talk briefly about the technique. I say briefly because there's not much to talk about here. Essentially, you have to do a full range of motion pull-up with the false grip, which is going to be below the chest, and from there you have to lean forward. This is where you need the core strength, the stability of the upper body, and you can even pike a little bit in the beginning, and with the forward lean you'll be able to get to the transition, get over the bar, and just push up yourself. So once you have the false grip, first you can do like a rep with more momentum. So you start pulling and then you just lean forward on the top. I know it's not slow-mo, but you will feel that it's gonna help. So I guess you did the pull-ups already with a good tempo. So you just use the same tempo and pull as high as you can and lean forward on the top, like this. If you have issues with chicken wing, so many people want to lean forward too early and they try to do it with separate shoulder movement, I have a tip: practice Russian push-ups and Russian dips. I have a separate video about the whole skill. So when you do the Russian push-up and the Russian dip, you really have to synchronize both arms. So that's gonna teach you not to do the chicken wing in the muscle up. So once you practice those, if you had issues with this one here, I guarantee that you will succeed after. All right, so let's jump into the progressions. The first progression is the leg-assisted slow-mo bar muscle up. So if you did everything right, you just need a lower bar. Maybe it's not low enough, but I'll try my best. You get the false grip. You start in a hanging position. You start the pull-up and just lean forward on the top. Obviously, if you use a lower bar, that I will try to show you there, but they're using the P-bars, it's gonna be much easier because if you're supporting on your feet the whole time, it's gonna be way easier. But here, you can do the similar technique that I just showed you. So not do it like super slowly, but do it with a good tempo and just help a little bit with a jump. Okay, so that's gonna be the introduction of the slow-mo muscle up. You can try it with the leg assistance, and then you can move on to the next progression. If you can do 1 to 5 reps, then you can just try the next one because it's not gonna be much more difficult. All right, so as I said, if you have a lower bar, you can just support the whole time and try the technique. You can do even more reps, but always try to help as little as possible and try to do it with your upper body. As you see, this bar is thicker. It's actually harder, I think, to do the false grip on this one. It's more slippery, but if you have a lower bar like this, it's gonna be way easier. The second progression is the slow-mo bar muscle up with resistance band. One of our best friends, the resistance band, it helps a lot in learning many skills in calisthenics, street workout, or gymnastics training. So same as for the pull-ups or the explosive muscle ups, you just have to hook the band on the bar, step into the band, and you know, the thicker band you use, the easier it's gonna be. So just grab the bar with false grip, step into the band with both legs, and do the same technique. Lean forward on the top and push up yourself and just come down. And here, if you have to, you can adjust the grip again and try to do it as slow as you can. Just pull below the chest, lean forward and push up. Okay, and obviously, as I said in my previous videos, this is a whole different world. You can use just a thicker band and then thinner and thinner, and this is the easiest way to build up the slow-mo bar muscle up. Once you can do even one rep with confidence, or even more reps, if you can do one, it's enough. If you feel the strength with a thinner band, then you can just try with full body weight. The third progression is the slow-mo bar muscle up negatives. This is a progression that many people do for the explosive muscle up, but I think it doesn't make too much sense, because the explosive muscle up is all about the explosive pulling and then leaning forward. So if you can do high pull-ups and if your pulling strength is good enough, then you don't really have to do, slow controlled reps. It comes back to the principle of specificity. There's nothing specific to do a slow negative for an explosive muscle up, but if you do slow-mo muscle up, it's really good and it helps a lot. So in this regard, it actually helps a lot. You just need to find the lower bar again, and the tricky part is going to be that you will start in a supported position, and once you lower yourself, you have to go to the false grip. So you can do it without it as well. Obviously, you can just do a slow descent, negative part. You lean forward, you try to stick to the bar with your chest and just come down. This is fine as well, but you get the extra points if you can do it with the false grip in the negative phase. So try to do the supported position the same way, so kind of like close to 45-degree angle with the hands. And as you lower down, the most important part is not the dip, it's gonna be more like the transition. So here, you just stick to the bar with your chest and maintain that false grip and go slowly all the way down. And once you do it all the way down, precisely from the transition to the dead hang, that's gonna be the perfect technique, and that can translate into a nice positive or concentric part. So once again, just try to fold around the bar as you come down, and as you go down, lean forward the same way as you would do it in the concentric phase. Stick to the bar, maintain the false grip, even if it's slippery, and go all the way down. And then you can put your feet on the ground. This is a really good technique. Just make sure to do it precisely. Do at least 3 to 5 reps. You come down, you jump up, you practice. And after that, you're pretty much ready to take the final progression. Alright, so just to sum up, after you did all the preparations on the base level, all the pulling strength exercises, and did these 3 progressions, the leg assisted slow-mo bar muscle up, the ones with the resistance band, and the negatives, you should be able to do at least one nice slow-mo bar muscle up. So once again, get that false grip tight, start from a passive hang, you start pulling slowly to the top, lean forward, stick to the bar, and slowly push up yourself. And you can do even a 30-second slow-mo bar muscle up challenge that you saw from me on Instagram. From here, you can do it just with the regular tempo, do 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, it's up to you. But as you see, once you have all these techniques and preparations, you should be able to do it easily. So once again, take these steps seriously. I know that some of you guys are doing pull-ups already, or you have different strengths, but if you have any missing puzzle or any missing link that I showed you, you won't succeed. So just take this easy step-by-step approach. You will see what your shortcomings are and what to fix. And if you go through these steps, you will get there for sure. If you need personalized help and want me to help you with my team, click the link below and apply to one-on-one coaching. Otherwise, if you want to work at your own pace and use the same well-structured system in one place, not just random YouTube videos, but a well-built system, step-by-step, with detailed tutorial videos, check out the link below. Join my community on gymnasticsmethod.com, download the app and follow the step-by-step process. Get access to all my programs, tutorials, daily workouts and much more. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and now check out the joint preparation videos or the pull-up videos on the end screen.